I used to believe that friendship was unshakable, that if you were lucky enough to find a person who laughed with you at the right moments, who cried when you cried, who swore they would never let you fall, then you could place your heart in their hands without fear. For me, that person was her, my best friend, the sister I chose, the anchor I thought would never slip. We shared everything: sleepless nights, whispering dreams, secrets hidden under the weight of promises, coffee shop afternoons where laughter spilled louder than conversation. She was the person I trusted with the small details and the heavy truths, the one who promised, "I'll never lie to you." And for years, I believed her. But sometimes, the people you hold the closest are the ones who teach you why trust is a dangerous thing. That night, the room felt smaller than usual. The only sound was the old thrift store clock ticking on the wall, every second hammering louder than the last. She sat across from me, her fingers nervously circling the rim of her glass. "Is something wrong?" I asked. Her eyes flickered, her lips parted, and finally she whispered, "I already knew, at least part of it." 6 words. That's all it took. The air drained out of the room. My chest tightened. My heart stumbled in its rhythm. She had known, and she hadn't told me. "What do you mean you knew?" My voice cracked. "Since when? How long?" She avoided my gaze. "A while. Long enough to matter." I stood without meaning to. My whole body shook as the ground beneath me gave way. "Why didn't you say anything? You watched me struggle. You watched me fall. And you said nothing?" Her answer came soft, almost tender, as though tenderness could soften the blade. "I thought I was protecting you." Protecting me. The words echoed like poison. Since when did protection mean silence? Since when did love mean choosing what truths I deserved? "You weren't protecting me," I whispered. "You were protecting yourself." She flinched. Tears welled in her eyes, but they couldn't erase the fact that she had betrayed the one thing we had built our lives on: trust. That night, something inside me cracked. In the days that followed, doubt became my shadow. It didn't shout. It whispered. It whispered when my mother's voice cracked on the phone. It whispered when my coworker smiled too quickly. It whispered when strangers lingered too long with their eyes. If my best friend could keep secrets from me, who else could? At night I lay awake, staring at the ceiling, haunted by her words. I already knew, at least part of it. I replayed every conversation we'd ever had, searching for clues. Had her laugh always sounded that forced? Had her eyes always shifted when certain names came up? Had the silence between us always been so heavy? Paranoia wrapped around me like a rope, pulling tighter with every memory. We met again at the little cafe we used to love. Once, it had been a place of comfort, where cappuccinos steamed like little clouds between us and conversation flowed like water. But now, the warmth was gone. She stirred her coffee without drinking it. Her hands shook. "You've been quiet," she said. "Have I?" I replied, cold. Her eyes filled with fear. "You don't trust me anymore." The words hit me like a stone. I wanted to deny it, to say she was wrong. But what good were lies between us now? "Should I?" I asked bitterly. "Should I trust you?" Her face crumbled, but she said nothing. Because we both knew the answer. Doubt doesn't stay in one place. It spreads. It seeped into everything. At work, I couldn't focus. My colleagues' laughter sounded false. Their glances felt suspicious. At home, even the walls seemed to whisper secrets I wasn't allowed to know. I began journaling obsessively, writing down every detail as though evidence could protect me from madness. But the more I wrote, the more confused I became. Truth is slippery. It changes depending on who holds it, and in her hands it had become something unrecognizable. One evening, as we walked together under the glow of street lamps, the tension broke. "Tell me," I said, my voice trembling. "Tell me everything you're not saying. Because this doubt, it's killing me." Her eyes shone with tears. I thought she might finally open her heart, but instead she whispered words that stabbed deeper than silence. Some things are better left unsaid. Better left unsaid. The phrase echoed through me like a curse. Better for who? For me? Or for her? That night, I realized something terrifying. Trust is fragile. It takes years to build and only a second to break. And once it's gone, no apology can put it back together. From that moment on, the friend I had once seen as my sister became a stranger in disguise. Every memory of her became poisoned. The way she had carried me up the stairs when I sprained my ankle. The way she sat with me on the curb after my failed interview, making me laugh through tears. The way she promised, "I'll never lie to you." All of it, tainted. Her silence had turned those memories into ghosts. And every ghost whispered the same haunting truth. She knew, and she said nothing. The doubt consumed me until even I began to question myself. Could I trust my own instincts, my own memories? Could I trust the voice inside me that said I still loved her? And the most terrifying question of all, if I can't trust her, can I trust anyone? Silence has weight. It doesn't float like air. It presses down, heavier than words, heavier than screams. And the silence she chose became a stone I carried everywhere. It wasn't only that she had known. It wasn't only that she had decided not to tell me. It was that she had rewritten my life without asking, choosing which truths I deserved, which lies I would live under, which illusions I would mistake for safety. And that decision was never hers to make. I tried to forgive her. I told myself, she was afraid. She thought she was protecting me. She made a mistake. But every time I replayed her confession, the wound split open again. I already knew. The words wouldn't stop echoing. One night I sat at my desk staring at an old photo of us. We were younger, smiling so brightly it almost hurt to look at. Our arms wrapped around each other, our faces full of trust. Looking at that picture, I whispered, "Where did we go wrong? When did you stop telling me the truth?" But the photo stayed silent, just like she had. The weight of the hidden lie followed me everywhere. At work, the sound of colleagues laughing in the hall felt like mocking. At home, even the shadows seemed to whisper secrets I wasn't meant to hear. I carried her silence like a ghost that refused to let me sleep. Some nights, I dreamed she told me everything. In those dreams, she wept and confessed, and the burden lifted. But every time, I woke to the same reality, the silence still there, the truth still buried. And I wondered, was I living in reality at all? Or had she constructed a cage of lies around me, convincing me it was home? One evening, I finally asked her the question that had been clawing at me for weeks. "Why didn't you tell me? Why let me live blind?" She looked away. "If I told you, it would have been worse." "Worse for who?" I demanded. "For me, or for you?" She didn't answer. Her silence was louder than words. And in that moment, I understood something terrible. The silence wasn't just fear. It was control. By keeping the truth, she had the power. She decided the version of reality I would live in. And I hated her for it. And I hated myself for still needing her. From then on, trust rotted into suspicion. When she laughed, I wondered if she was laughing at me. When she hugged me, I wondered if it was just a mask. When she said, "I'll always be here for you," I wondered how many lies could fit in a single sentence. Distrust isn't loud at first. It creeps in slowly. But once it takes root, it grows into something monstrous. And soon I couldn't stop asking myself, who else is lying to me? The breaking point came suddenly. One night, she left her phone on the table, just for a second. A message flashed across the screen, one that contradicted everything she had told me. A message that revealed the truth she had confessed to me wasn't the whole truth at all. She had twisted her story. She had shaped it into something I could accept. She had confessed just enough to keep me quiet while hiding the darkest part. I froze, staring at the glowing screen. My chest burned. My hands shook. She hadn't just lied by omission. She had lied in her confession. When I confronted her, my voice trembled with rage. "You lied to me. I said. Even when you pretended to be honest, you were still lying. How could you do that? How could you look me in the eye and twist the truth again? Her lips quivered. I did it for you, she whispered. You weren't ready. Those words made my blood boil. No, I said. You lied because it was easier. You lied because it gave you control. You lied because the full truth would have cost you something you weren't willing to lose. She broke into tears, but I didn't comfort her. Not this time, because tears don't erase betrayal. That night I saw her for what she truly was. Not my safe place, not my sister, not my best friend, but a stranger wearing her face. And yet, the weight of her lies didn't only destroy our friendship, it destroyed me. It stole the version of myself that believed in trust. It replaced hope with suspicion. It left me hollow, broken, unable to look at the world without wondering who else was deceiving me. Finally, I told her, I can't do this anymore. Unless you're ready to tell me everything, all of it, don't say another word. And she stayed silent. Her silence was my answer. So I walked away. Walking away should have felt like freedom. But it didn't. It felt like mourning. Mourning a friendship that once saved me. Mourning the person I thought she was. Mourning the version of myself that believed her promises. And even now, her words echo inside me. Trust no one. Maybe she was right, because in the end, she proved it herself. So now I ask you, if you were in my place, what would you have done? Would you stay, hoping for the truth, even if it meant living with lies? Or would you walk away forever, even if it meant losing the person you loved most? Tell me your answer in the comments. I want to hear your story. Like this video if it touched your heart. Subscribe for more stories like this because the truth always comes out in the end. And when it does, it changes everything.